Alrighty, with the time being met and bribed at, we begin our Finance Committee meeting tonight for February 12th, 2024. Before we begin, I'm going to read the following disclosure. Pursuant to Section 20 of Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2020, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, and the March 31st, 2025 extension granted by Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022, this meeting for the town of Bridgewater will be fully remote and accessible to the public through remote participation to the greatest extent possible. No in-person attendance is permitted. Citizens who wish to tune into the meeting may do so via Zoom. And let's go from there and continue forth. So let's start first with the item B, approval of meeting minutes for January 29th, 2024. I'm going to ask if everybody had an opportunity to read it, and if there are any questions, concerns, or items that need to be amended or changed.
Yeah.
Did you have something?
Yes, I have a question. You just said the 24th, but I'm confused about the packet that we got. What minutes are we approving? Because I don't see any minutes attached to the packet that I got.
Be the one
I see like a comment. It looks like there's like rig motioning things, but that's all. It's labeled under E, new business. Am I just reading my? Or is that the whole? That's the meeting minutes that we're approving. Right
yes,
there?
yeah, the second page of after the first page of the agenda, that's the meeting minutes from January 29th. So that's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said got it. Okay, got it. Perfect. Yep, that makes sense.
Did anything need to be changed or amended? Did you see anything out of place, Julie?
No, I just read it wrong.
No worries. It's Monday. We are we're all
I did on my iPad, so I get a little confused. Okay.
It's all right. We're all likely a flutter due to the snow coming in soon. So snow day for anybody that's referencing this right now. So if there aren't any questions or concerns or anything with the meeting minutes, I would entertain a motion to approve them.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I hear a motion from Mr. Bean. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Pace. Josh, if you'd be so kind.
MJ.
Aye.
Julie.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Catherine.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion was approved.
All right. We'll move on to item C on our agenda, public comment. If there are any members of the public here present watching the meeting and had any questions or concerns, now is the time to make them known. Seeing none, let us move on to old business. Item D, subsection A, the subcommittee update. Unfortunately, still don't have any updates at this point, and I will just politely ask the secretary, Josh, have you heard anything from the school noting any interest in meeting with us in the near term?
Nope. The last thing I heard was regarding the joint meeting.
Okay. And unfortunately, and I can kind of slightly report on this, I did attend the meeting last week, and Mr. Hamilton was also there along with me, and Ms. Paris as well. There unfortunately was no opportunity for us to actually even engage the joint meeting. In fact, actually, we were more or less there present as attending, but no moment in time was given to us to speak due to the items that were before the council and also the time they had allotted for the public hearing with the school committee. So hopefully in the near term, I can at least try to work with the chair and also the secretary to try to see if we can get one of the contacts from BR to at least come before us. And I'm hoping that at some point I can have my subcommittee colleagues with me in order to take on that meeting and see if we can take care of any of the business that we have before us at the time. But other than that, there's no other updates at this point. Moving on to our new business, we have a acceptance of non-recurring revenue to capital. It is order O-FY24-026, and I will briefly read the explanation. the order accepts a one-time non-recurring revenue from the Department of Correction earmarked FY24 budget to the Capital Stabilization Fund for capital appropriations for the towns and schools / capital needs. If I understand this is actually the funding that we receive in lieu of tax payments. It's a pilot payment. But for more information on that and more edification, I will yield it over to Ms. Lori Garini to impart that knowledge to us. Lori, whenever you're ready, you have the floor.
Why, thank you. I am just going to explain a little bit about this annual money that comes from the state. So this really isn't to do with the even in lieu of taxes, because that amount comes from the state based on the state-owned land. So specifically for all the land in the town, it comes monthly on the cherry sheet. So that is part of an actual budgeted amount. I think this year I can look at the budget, but I think it was around $600 what we get. And they make that in payments of monthly payments that come to the town on the cherry sheet. So this payment actually is part of the DOC's budget that was voted from the state. And it's called prison mitigation meet, which has to do with the population of the inmates at the facility. And the Department of Correction is given the budget that is allocated based on populations for all of the facilities around the state. And then it's broken up like a pie chart based on whatever is decided by the state for their budget for this particular item. So this year it is a little more than last year, because last year it was cut pretty drastically. We got 120,721 when we were getting about 200,000 to 300,000. So this year it was a little more. So that's the history of that money. So we don't budget it because we're not certain that will be allocated anything, because it depends on the state budget. So that's why we don't manually budget for it. But we put it right into the capital stabilization as an earmark for capital of that, bucket of money for the school and the town's capital appropriations.
Alrighty. Do any of the members have any questions or
I did. When I reviewed it, I was just curious as how they come to that number. I know it's per person in the prison for the year, but do they give us a breakout on how they come to that number and what it is per person and how many people were actually housed there on average throughout the year?
Yeah, so they won't give us that formula. We've asked for it. But all they can tell us is that it's for cities and towns hosting correctional facilities based on the prior fiscal year's average inmate population. So they don't give us that information as far as what the actual population, and I've asked for it. So just gotta maybe have I've asked Angela, our reps, to see if they could get me some backup information, but that's the info that I get back from the Department of Correction. I think I talked with Brennan. So he just said it depends on what the states allocate, and then they just take it and they
Right, do you know what we've had in the past?
yeah,
Like how it compares to other years? No,
yeah.
not to interrupt, I apologize.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So I can send you that. And so last year, 23, we were, the state budget was cut for this earmark. So so once they cut that number, then everybody's allocation is smaller and smaller, but it was 120,000 in 2023. In 2022, it was 324,000. 21 was 292. 2020 was 270. And then it was in the 250s and 260s the years prior. So,
So we don't know if it's because the population changed or the percentage changed. Is that what we're saying, or?
so what I sent an email to Mr. Brennan and I haven't heard back from him, regarding this year's allocation because I think Walpole so when other institutions close, you know, that gives you a higher percentage of the pot. So it's,
Mhm.
I think that might be why this year's went up a little bit more. But that's all the info I have. Okay.
Thank you.
Before we move on with any other further questions, I do wish to remind members of the committee that if they are asking a question, they must ask it through the chair to our guest in the meeting. It's Robert's Rules of Order. It's just a nice, neat way of keeping things in order and making sure conversations don't go off on different tangents. But that being said, are there any other questions or concerns that members would like to ask? If there are none, I will entertain a motion to approve this measure or to deny this measure.
Motion to approve the measure.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Mr. Pace, seconded by Mr. Bean. Josh, if you'd be so kind as to do the roll call.
MJ,
Aye.
Julie,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Catherine,
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Now we are on to item F, additional items for discussion. I do not personally have anything for the committee this evening other than knowing that the budget schedule is going to be starting up in earnest for us. We should be keeping our schedules clear, at least if I remember correctly, the calendar that Lori had shared with us in the prior meeting. We're going to start noticing those dates in the February and March timeframes, and we want to be a little bit more acutely aware of when those are going to happen so we can at least provide availability. If any of those are going to require joint meetings of our committee with the town council and the school committee, just to make sure everything can move along smoothly and efficiently, and we don't delay any parts of the process. So I just wanted to put that out there as a reminder to everyone. And the other thing is I know that I know it's a little early, but I know that the end of the fiscal year will be coming up fast enough. But if anybody has their terms that could be coming up in the near term for expiration and are interested in renewing, I would make sure you bring that to the attention of your appointing authority, just so they have that in the just so they have that in the queue, so that when the terms do expire, we can at least have some seamless continuance, or if need be, seamless transition. So that's pretty much the only items I would have for tonight. If anybody else has anything, I'm happy to entertain those at this moment. Okay, tough crowd tonight. But so with that, I would say we're on to item G. If there are no other questions, concerns, or comments that need expressing this evening, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Can we just discuss when the next meeting might be?
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Josh, so when is the next council meeting?
That's going to be next Tuesday.
Okay, so the earliest we would probably see something is probably Monday, the 26th.
Yep. And I don't know if Lori can tell us just yet, but is there anything that's going to be referred? Oh, you're on mute, Lori.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can let you know as soon as I do know, so that you can notify the members.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll just right now just plan for the 26th.
So make sure you have your calendars on your phones, paper, or marker board, however the medium is you use to track your dates and stuff, and just keep your ears open. If there isn't anything else, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Ms. Clapars. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Oh. Second by Mr. Hamilton. Josh, if you'd be so kind, the roll call for the night.
MJ,
Aye.
Julie,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Catherine,
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion was approved. The meeting is adjourned.
All righty, everyone. We'll see you in a few
Thank you,
weeks.
everybody.
Thanks,
Happy
everybody.
snow day.